lots of conversations.
So what does trauma-based treatment look like? So
Well, I
someone who doesn't know, like, how would you explain trauma-based treatment?
well, there's many models. There's many models out there right now, and I think that the type, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm a program manager at a girls' unit in jail, but you have to have these kids understand that with you, they don't have to react like they're being raped or they're being harmed at that moment. You want everybody to have that in their brain that, oh my God, I'm being chased, I need to run. But so many children react that way to stay safe all the time that it takes a while just for their brains to figure out, okay, is this life and death for me right now? Can I slow down and talk to this person? Can I take the time, or am I going to be hurt right now? And for the people that are talking to the kids, your space is, and anytime you're going to move or do something, let the person know, hey, I'm gonna move the stack of books because I can't really see you, so that they're not startled or felt off guard. But you definitely first they gotta recognize and realize that right now I'm not being hurt, because if they react and respond in that flight mode, you'll never get down to the root cause.
So if people don't really understand, or service providers or in a residence or foster parents or whatever, if they don't really understand that these kids have post-traumatic stress disorder, much like vets, soldiers do, then it might look to a stranger that it's just a bad kid. Just
I think many kids get labeled as
wild, bad
kids, and
when really they're just severely traumatized. And your advances towards them seem, or they can't register that it's not an attack. Is that right?
Right, absolutely. And sometimes the kids, that's the hard thing with sex trafficking. It's not just the kids that they would be labeled bad or wild. It's the girl next door, your neighbor's daughter. It's the kids that are walking to the bus stops. It's the kids that you think you live in a safe neighborhood and they're walking to a birthday party as a group. And it's the homeless kids. It's every child at this point in time is running the risk of something happening to them. And the way, I believe, to get for these kids and for the parents to learn is we need education. We need to teach people this is what you need to look for. No different than if a dog cowers down when you go to it, they usually think the dog is abused. We need to train people. We need to train parents what signs to look for if they see a change in their children. We need to train neighbors. What do you look for? What do you see? If you see this, where do you call? How do you get help? What do you do?
So some of the kids that have made it as far as jail, are these just bad kids, or does being sexually abused immediately turn them into lawbreakers?
Absolutely not. These girls need to learn to love themselves, like themselves, respect themselves, and know that when they're in the world, they can say no to anything they want to say no to, and it's okay. That it's safe to do that. It's okay to do that. And they need to know where they can go if they do need help. They need to know, they need to be safe. They just need to be safe. These girls need to leave. We try to, embed in them that you are worth so much more than they even realize when they come in. And it's great to see kids grow as they leave. And, I hear from kids years ago, still hear from girls. But no, sexual assault, sex trafficking, abuse should not label these kids as bad kids.
So, is there any sort of program or resource when the kids leave? So, a girl is really reactive. She's been abused multiple times, as is the case most of the time. She's committed a crime. She's been placed in your care. She's with you for, 6 months or 4 years or whatever the case may be. And now her time is up and she's going to be released. Is there any sort of, is she just going to go straight back to where she came from? Is there any
Well, the kids from
resource or
Long Creek
mentoring?
are probably a little luckier than the other kids because at Long Creek we have an aftercare program where you can get out beforehand and there's people to follow you in the community. The problem is places for these kids to go and release them to. But as a facility, I'm lucky to work in a facility that has resources and people and are truly invested in these kids. To me, the greater problem lies with our communities throughout the entire state of Maine. There's not enough knowledge. There's not enough resources. Unfortunately, funding and money leads people to have to work underneath their own, boss and job or what part of agency they are, and it prevents lots of times, I feel, people working together and sharing education and sharing knowledge, and that's what we need, and we need a lot more of it, and we need it throughout the entire state.
So when a girl gets out, how long is the after program?
It's depending on what they're committed to. Every kid is different. They can be committed to an age, and then some kids that stay there because they don't have a place to go may have had a job and earned money, and then we'll try to help them with their own apartment. But if the kid wants to work with people, if the girl wants to work with people, it's tough. It's tough, especially the kids, because once they turn 18, even though they might be on juvenile conditions, because we'll hold up to 21, you still have adult case planning. It's an all around, it's a dead end in so many ways for these children, not because of anyone's fault. There just needs to be more places.
So I'm trying to get at, and I don't mean to bait you, I'm just trying to get at, if you have 20 girls, how many of those 20 girls are going to be released and have a safe place to go? And you keep talking about treatment, how are they going to get a place to live and the continuing treatment that they've received with you guys, medical, social, psychiatric?
I'm not sure how they're going to, because we lack it.
Are they getting it now? If 20 of your girls gets released, how many of those 20? 1, 2, 3, 4? Any are going to leave your facility and have a safe place to go with medical and psychiatric care?
That's a list.
That's what they need, right?
It's what they need. That's a long list.
Psychiatric,
that's
medical,
a long list. You need a building.
Dental.
You need a home.
A safe place.
You need a home.
So 20 of the girls who leave your facility are not going to have that.
I can't say they're not going to have that, because as our facility, we prepare them, and you always have your girls that are the fighters and make it, and then you have sometimes you have families that are there for their children, and it's hard to put a number on because there are less girls adjudicated than boys, but that's a long list. That's a long list if you have a healthy family supporting you. You need a place for these kids to live. You need a home.
Any final words?
Educate, educate, educate. We need to let every person in every single community in Maine know that sex trafficking is taking place. We need to let every single person know what the signs are. what it looks like when a child is being groomed, what to do when you see the same vehicle in the neighborhood. We need to run ads on TV like shelters do for animals. We owe this to our children, and every single child